Map 1, HeRoMaRinE versus ShoWTimE on Berlingrad. I went to an observer. There's no observer. In the bottom right, we have the red Terran HeRoMaRinE. Top left, the blue Protoss ShoWTimE, who is really changing things up with the 12 pylon. HeRoMaRinE literally just faced Scaleless going for a proxy Stargate, and maybe ShoWTimE caught the tail end of it and said, you know what? I could do that, and better. So that is interesting. That is interesting. You know what? I am going to cheat. I'm going to use Indy as an observer. Or I could use Funka, either one. They're known for being observers, after all. Did Indy not join? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. No, ShoWTimE goes for that 12 pylon. And then does not get that second gas. So what is the reason for doing this? I guess it is a faster semi-explore and faster unit from the gateway. Oh wait, no, was the Probo fit? No, he's yeah. So I guess it is just for faster unit production. Good unit production. The depth's gonna be coming out faster, so not a proxy Stargate. I mean, that would have been really crazy for ShoWTimE to do. And I would have liked it because it would have been so crazy for him to do. But like I was saying, HeRoMaRinE just defeated Scaleless, attempting to do the same thing. So if ShoWTimE were to see a weakness, I mean, that could make sense, but ShoWTimE would have had very little time after his match to watch it. So now it's just going to be in a faster adept. Coming across one of the shortest maps in the map pool now. You know what? Indy does not observe like he does when he's an observer. He observes like a caster when he's casting. So we're just gonna take control. So one rack expand from HeRoMaRinE is not gonna bother getting too fast of a bunker. He has a reactor after a Marine. So they'll give him 3 Marines fairly quickly to combat even slightly quicker adepts. That's all you really need. It's if there's more on the way that gets tricky, and there are more on the way. So here's the tricky part. Second adept coming in. No Cyclone yet prepared. Tech Lab only just building on this factory. It is 5 Marines at this point, but the adepts can still tango. They don't really want to do very much more, though. The command center finished. It's like, how much more can they do? Oh, they can get to the main base. They can get a free old scout into the main base. They also kill the SCV building the starport. Gonna try and recall out with their lives. They do, in fact, live. And, ooh, okay, so ShoWTimE is still really mixing things up. He didn't go for a Stargate, went for Twilight Council, but it's not for Blink. It is for a Dark Templar shrine thingy. Whatever. Robo is about to finish. Warp Prism's gonna get pumped out, and HeRoMaRinE, probably the last thing he expects from ShoWTimE. Well, second to last thing. Last thing would have been the proxy Stargate. So, HeRoMaRinE, a Wood of Mine drop would see the Dark Shrine as it finishes, which is still very difficult to defend against. This is not a Wood of Mine drop. He will get a medevac, but it's probably not going to enter into the main the same way a Wood of Mine drop would. TLDR, he's not going to see the Dark Shrine. He's not going to know about it. He's not scanning. He's expecting a straight-up game, as they both are well known for their macro play. And ShoWTimE, well, could macro out of this, is very much depending on it to do damage. And you know what it certainly defeats? This is another reason I like the Dark Shrine. I think it really combats any early to mid-game pushes that Terran can do, and try and take advantage of a shorter map. So if HeRoMaRinE is like, I'm going to catch him off guard, going for a third Nexus with this little tank Marine push thingamajigger, he'd be in pain, because the Dark Templars would hit his main and also stop his attack from doing any damage. At the very least, HeRoMaRine's not moving out. Did he just mule? We just mule. Oh, GG. Hoo-hoo! Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm gonna have to check out that build order in comparison with a couple others to see if that 12th pylon leads to a faster Dark Templar build. Short and sweet. Very much not how he was playing in the last series. I like the change up. I like it a lot. I've been so tired these last couple of days. Someone convinced me to run after this. Someone convinced me that a 1 mile run sounds very enjoyable. Ooh, HeRoMaRinE. He's like, we playing like that? We doing that? We doing that thing? It's gonna sound an SCV. Top right, HeRoMaRinE. Bottom left, ShoWTimE. Glittering Ashes, super large map. SCV is gonna proxy and take away the sides of the map. Oh. Not that the last series wasn't fun in all of its macro glory, but, you know, there's a lot of things in life that get better with a little variety. A lot of things. Most things, actually. Balance and variety. A balance of variety. A variety of balance. Probably the two biggest things I'd say are important in life. Anyways. I'm appreciating a little bit of aggression. HeRoMaRinE is going to be scouted eventually, as in the barracks isn't going to be here. But the actual barracks itself, tucked into this little tiny corner, doesn't actually get scouted by the probe being sent across the map. So the probe does want to stick around to see if the factory does in fact go back at home, which it should, because no one really does anything else nowadays. It usually is just the proxy reaper, but it's not always the case. And I think HeRoMaRinE is going to proxy a factory. Well, it looked like he would, but he didn't. He didn't. JK, I'm not excited anymore. Thing is that a probe should always be able to scout the Yarsel proxying the factory. So in that sense, it's not really worth it. It's not going to be a surprise. But sometimes, I guess, there could be a chance the Protoss doesn't scout it. And that would always be fun. The reason why it was popular, though, is that even if it was scouted, even if the Protoss knew, you could tell them, I'm going to proxy barracks, factory, and starport you. There was a time in this matchup's history where they'd still die to it. It's long past. Ooh! Woo! Woo! No probes have died in the making of this proxy racks. Ow! This bunker could be more annoying. Guys, trying your best to convince me to run after this. I appreciate it. Ugh. Oh, ShoWTimE didn't build a shield battery. Against True Reapers especially, this is a problem. I guess the CV is not here. A bit risky. It's a tad risky to do what ShoWTimE just did here. He did have a Stalker produce first, so it's going to help bust on the bunker a little bit more than Adept. And there wasn't an SCV to repair. But still, usually a Protoss's defense is with a shield battery. And they're very casual about it, and they kind of fit it into their build, and it's not the biggest of deals, but if you could size that up appropriately and say, I don't need it, then you saved yourself 100 minerals. That's pretty sick, actually, of ShoWTimE to not panic. I think it could have backfired if there was an SCV, but there wasn't, so it's alright. You can run hours of casting with some mild U, but breathing in nature. You know, my lung capacity actually has no issue, and that's the sucky thing about actually getting to be a runner, I suppose. Because you do, like, couch to 5K for the first time. Absolutely, your lung capacity is one of the issues. But eventually, it just comes down to, like, the pain and the tiredness of your legs. That's what kind of sucks. We have HeRoMaRinE adding on a fairly quick third CC. He's really playing a defensive stance now. He was going to get a Raven, decides not to. I think he will. Oh, he might be waiting for a scout. If he sees a Stargate, he probably doesn't want to go for a Raven. Yeah. Well, no, he starts it up again. Did he get a barracks before? Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. HeRoMaRiNE's burrowed. Somehow, again, HeRoMaRinE or ShoWTimE doesn't take as much damage as he could have, considering how late he pulled. And then he's actually returning the damage. He's killing that many SCVs. 11 SCVs go down to the 8 probes. The medevac's gonna die. The Reapers could add the damage to equalize things. It's a funny game. Phoenix wanted to go take care of the Reapers. They forgot about taking care of the medevac. The HeRoMaRiNE's gonna burrow. Oh my god, no! ShoWTimE! No! He thought he killed it. He thought he killed it. ShoWTimE now only ahead 13 workers as opposed to 18 workers. This is a pretty sizable difference. 18 would have been straight up a lead for him. 12, 10 now, actually. Not as much. 2 mules counts for most of it, and a third CC is about to finish. His third Nexus is only 30% done. He still isn't in a terrible spot, though, funnily enough. Well, hold on. I do think this will, in a minute, be a lot clearer. This is actually the fact that Reapers continue to do damage is a real problem. 3 more probes go down. Yeah, I was already on the fence. I was about to take it back. I'm going to take it back fully now. No, I think HeRoMaRiNE's in the lead. I mean, he's not going to get punished, really. So even though he doesn't have really a great army or particularly fast stim, he does have 3 CC, producing triple SCVs, triple mules. Getting it on location shouldn't really be an issue either. It's just the Phoenix harassing that's annoying. The Oracle comes back in, though. Phoenix take care of the Viking, get the lock on onto them, and live through it till the Oracle is free to free fire. Huh. That was better than anticipated. 7 SCVs go down. Oracle could be recalled if it really wants to. ShoWTimE, I mean, in total, what has happened in this game? 18 workers for both of them have died at this point. What a crazy outcome that is. Oh, make that 21. Phoenix, I think, just lifted a bunch of stuff. This Reapers ran away like you should have with this cast. Oh my god, why there's so many workers are going down? The Raven was made, and it came across the map to auto-turret harass. That's a pricey tool to go for harassment. I'd say worth if it gets 10 probes, but it's only gonna get 5. Doesn't quite get the Phoenix. Oh, it does get the Phoenix. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. This is kind of a silly game. Oracle's gonna die as well, finally. Oh, we have a big push. But no medevacs, tanks get lifted, Colossus rips the Marines, they don't even have combat shield. Oh, no, the Phoenix were targeted down, nicely done by HeRoMaRiNE, but like I said, the Colossus tearing down on those Marines, combat shieldless, meant that ShoWTimE had the perfect army. As long as he didn't run the Phoenix first over the Marines, and the tanks lived, HeRoMaRiNE had the, maybe right idea to try and blitz the third base, but actually didn't have quite the perfect composition. He was going for speed over dependability, maybe is how I'll put it, because he went without medevacs. Their healing prowess is pretty good. That is, continues to make this an interesting game to call. I still feel like HeRoMaRiNE's alright. Still feel like he's in the lead. But yeah, I really don't know anymore. He's gonna lose this drop in the main. I'm gonna take it back again. I think ShoWTimE now is in the lead. Oh my god. He's missing an upgrade, but it's not like HeRoMaRiNE's on double engineering bay. It's not really that bad for Protoss. He's gonna build up his Phoenix count again. This is crazy. This is a crazy game. Resources trade is favorable towards the Protoss. We can figure that much out just by looking at the numbers. But there's always outside factors. One outside factor that I'll bring up now that we're into a 9-minute TvP is that ShoWTimE just looks really good late game PvT. So if that's where we're getting to, I give him the nod. Recency bias probably, but still. Is that the right word? Is that what it's called? Yes. Yes, it is. Scan of the natural, I guess just seeing what the army maybe looked like. It's gonna see a Colossus pop out. It's a gateway. It's Templar Archives. I'm actually a little curious about the scan being in the natural. Anyways, the army's over here. 4th base is almost done. Things could go topsy-turvy with how the engagement goes. Someone's out of position that's going to matter more than the numbers on the screen, methinks. And ShoWTimE does have some observers out in the map. He's got 2, he's got a pylon, he's got Phoenix over to the very bottom right, Phoenix to the top left. Was there an observer there?
Warning. Full this probe.
I think that was a I think it was a misclick. Yeah. 47 is thinking for that gifted sub. HeRoMaRiNE is getting to the complete Terran army. Vikings, Ghosts. 1 ahead of ShoWTimE. At least 1 upgrade. ShoWTimE does have to take the engagement bit by bit. Kind of just zap, pull back, zap, pull back. Buy some time somehow, some way, and well, a warp prism would be a much better way of buying time. HeRoMaRiNE has nothing to defend against it. No motor mines, no missile turrets. Maybe reinforcements if he times this correctly, but if he rallies, that could be an issue. So far, so good on the observer coverage. It's seeing every single time HeRoMaRiNE tries to catch ShoWTimE by surprise. So ShoWTimE is able to engage prior to really being under true distress. Although one of the Colossus is about to fall. Ooh, no. I think you really want to be able to go back to a shield battery to save that one. Zealots to get into the main base, going to cause the distraction and kill 4 SCVs, but ultimately cleaned up pretty quickly. So HeRoMaRiNE can focus back on what's important, the main engagement. ShoWTimE, I still think he needs a shield battery. A Guardian Shield looking very aggressive for the situation. He's about to have disruptors. That would make him feel a lot safer. Blink is not done. Blink is not even halfway done. But punishing those Vikings is also really scary. The bio is right there. Only 1 tank. That's the good news. And you know, if ShoWTimE lost the Nexus but kept his army alive, I don't think that'd be the worst case scenario for him. 2 Archons get popped instantly on the front line. Shield battery overcharge. Trying to help, but the army's actually away from it at this point. ShoWTimE able to build up a good enough army to actually tackle this head on. I guess is okay. He'll lose the Colossus, though. Sometimes he is very willing to lose the Colossus. Vikings land. This is awfully scary still for ShoWTimE. Do his disruptors have the shots? The original ones don't, but there's 1 more coming out. Gonna find at least a couple of units, but not nearly enough. ShoWTimE with a 4th disruptor needs something better than that. Immortal's shields get popped by the Ghost EMP. Medivacs are starting a round of healing, but that concave of bio, could it actually be enough to do it? I don't think it will be. Disruptor shot finds something there. Immortals barely hanging on as they do get taken down. ShoWTimE should have a reinforcement path soon enough. Stalkers, though, get taken down as well. Disruptor not going to hit because the Medivac picks up, and the length of the map was helping originally. Now come the reinforcements of the Terran. HeRoMaRiNE desperately trying to win with this push. Unfortunately, loses out to the timing of the overcharged shield battery just enough to actually get those Stalkers warped in alive. And all of the disruptors live through the engagement. I don't think he lost a single one, although it was dangerously close. And now warping in Stalkers, he is doing the right thing because it's only a limited number of bio units. This is where Stalkers really shine. Plus, Liberator is about to come in, so an extra reason why you want to have a good number of Stalkers. But of course, Overcharge no longer available, and now 2 shield batteries out of juice completely. The Liberators, all 3 of them, do get sieged up, and this is still a very, very tight engagement. Believe it or not, Colossus will help a tremendous amount with this because they can stop the bio from attacking into him without attacking into the Liberators themselves. So, Well, not if the Colossus can't reach over here. Okay, the Bio leaves the Liberators a tad bit alone. The Stalkers jump on top of it. Disruptors try and find the shots, but not finding it. And also, the Liberators are also not taken out. One still lives. More Stalkers reinforced, but the two Colossus, I think that's the backbone that ShoWTimE might have needed. But the Liberators, more are on the way. He's just full on making Liberators 3 at a time, and that's probably what's going to win HeRoMaRinE this engagement. ShoWTimE never quite cleaned up this army. The overcharge is helping a significant amount, and the disruptor's finally helping truly, but it is going to be, oh shit, HeRoMaRinE! HeRoMaRinE is the one that taps out. He had no fourth base, and I guess he realized that he hadn't actually fully cracked ShoWTimE. GG, damn, that was so close. Mugu, thank you for the 45 months. Damn. I really thought the Liberators were gonna do it, man. I did. Thanks, Teo. I love your talking. Top right, Red Terran. HeRoMaRinE. Bottom left, it is ShoWTimE who manages to take a 2-0 lead. First game, DTs were a surprise. Pretty easy victory. The second game, not easy at all. And I'm still a little shocked. It makes a lot of sense as to why HeRoMaRinE tapped out. It was not an Idra GG. It just felt like it came out of nowhere because it was such a close battle. But yeah, he did not have a third CC. Sorry, a fourth CC. Didn't have a fourth on the way. He was very all in on the attack. He could have tried to retreat, but even his committal to producing Liberators would have pushed back his attempted transition. Because you could say maybe if he had 8 medevacs and he retreated, he could start dropping. But if you have 4 medevacs and then... Well, you wouldn't even have that many, right? Because you'd have 4 medevacs and the Liberators, and they try to retreat, but then ShoWTimE would finally go, I'm free! And then he'd chase after you with the Stalker number consistently growing. And so you'd probably more have like 2 medevacs and 2 Liberators. So you wouldn't really be able to do anything else except retreat. And you'd lose units on the way of doing that. Yeah, it wouldn't really be a worthwhile game to play out of. ShoWTimE is on 4 bases, actually heading on to 5 towards the end of that game. Eesh. Such a close battle. All right, so how did that game start? What happened? This is tricky. ShoWTimE pretends to move around. The Marine did not see it. That was an SCP, just kidding. What's coming out? Oh, because he went for a reactor first. So this probe, I mean, it's so weak, but it's far more annoying because of the shields. And ShoWTimE really times this out perfectly. It sucks that he lost so much health to begin with on the probe, but he saves it. He causes a disruption in HeRoMaRinE's build order. And what do we have going back at home? Good old Stargate. He does like his Stargate, doesn't he? Clem tried to punish this, and I think his idea was very good, but just didn't quite kill him. I don't know if HeRoMaRinE will try something so drastic. He already isn't doing what Clem did, which is a 1 base emphasis. He is doing something else that Clem did, though, and he's going to Hellions. Perhaps just the 2 Hellions and the 2 Widow Mines. HeRoMaRinE, better hope he does better than Clem did with that particular build order. Did he just kill an Observer? Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. No Observer. Perfect. Where's that probe though now? Who put it there? Very, very weak Stalker. It does technically outrange the Marines, but as you can see, it requires pixel perfect micro. No, why? He thought the shield regen had kicked in, or he thought that his pixel perfect micro was pixel perfect. It wasn't. It kind of sucks actually, because the Stalker, had it lived, would have been a great contribution to defending against the harassment we're about to see, because it shoots up and down. It's very good. Zap, 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 zap. Okay, 2 Hellions do nothing but get some scouting done. So they actually get some decent scouting, really. They don't just see that it's an Oracle opener. They see that it's a Twilight Council follow-up, so it's right in a blink. That is the expectation when you see such a fast Twilight Council opener, only 1 Oracle. So he does know what's happening, but his opener has failed so far. And there's not a lot stopping ShoWTimE from building at least 1 Phoenix. It would interrupt his build. Phoenix are kind of expensive, but he scouts and sees that it's a HeRoMaRinE follow-up, which is, again, the most common follow-up to those 2 Hellions diving in like that. So I wouldn't have hated it, but he is confident in his ability to pull his probes and get his Stalkers into position. Usually I would be, but I gotta say his track record for pulling away from HeRoMaRinE today is... it's like 60-40. It's like sometimes it's alright, sometimes not. Oh, look at this! Oh, oh, oh! That's a couple of Stalkers going down. Better than hitting all those probes, as they did bunch up, but still not ideal. The medevac died. But still better for the Protoss. Still better, but you gotta figure there's more medevacs on the way, and you are not in position anymore. Oracle can do the scouting. The Stalkers do not have to go on the front lines. They will want to eventually to perhaps stall out a push, but I don't... this could be a mistake. ShoWTimE! I'm gonna change that to about a 70-30. 70% not doing so hot against HeRoMaRinE. But winning the games anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know, that was particularly nasty. 13 probes is big. 6 manageable, 13... no. No, no, no. And like I was getting into... there's like sometimes a compulsion from a Protoss player to have their Stalkers, and I say compulsion as in it's something that is usually very good. It's a good habit, but it's not always the right call. To send their units out on the map. They want to get some counterattack damage, they want to get the map control, they want to pick off the units, they want to stall out the push. There's a lot of reasons to use your Stalkers actively, right? And that, I think, is a great thing in StarCraft and for Protoss. I really like the Blink Stalker. But sometimes, you know, we're just like, Stalkers are so fun, let's just go across that map. That we forget that they might need to be back at home. Guess he wasn't expecting a second HeRoMaRinE drop. So now we need to get some damage done, or we need to take a really good engagement. ShoWTimE is not going to be able to afford as many Zealots to overwhelm such a push. He is still going to be able to afford quite a few, though, because he did not grab his additional 3 gases. He's very committed on the idea of charge lots. Oh, he just linked into 2 HeRoMaRINEs. Oh, no. Oh, no. So his Stalkers have to recall, which means they're not picking off units over here. Oh, no. The other thing that ShoWTimE is doing is also getting a proxy gateway, so he's very much committed on the charge lot attack. Right, like he's playing like Zest, really. No Robo either. So it's going to be a lot of charge lots. Thing is, it's going to be 1 punch. ShoWTimE is finding HeRoMaRinE a little caught by surprise, but he doesn't have a wraparound. He does have a stasis trap, though. So once again, is this it must be StarCraft. My computer is totally fine. My internet's totally fine. Jeez Louise. Pretty sick stasis trap, gets ruined by a couple of frame drops. Can HeRoMaRinE make it fast enough over to save his army? Oh no, the force fields come down. The Sentry sacrificed their lives for those force fields, but it wasn't even a comprehensive force field arc. Just a tank goes down. Zealots come in. Good focus fire on the Marauders. Very good focus fire indeed. The Stalkers will eventually have to blink back, or will they? He's actually going to take the fight here. Mano a mano, Stalkers versus Marauder medevac, but the Stalker number is just good enough to perhaps take care of this, but the medevac healing starts to get in there. Starts to really make the difference. Picks up two of those Marauders that are only alive thanks to the medevac healing. And the reinforcements coming out a bit faster for the Terran. I mean, it's a bit of a wash. ShoWTimE. If he had a fourth base behind this, I'd say that he managed to bring himself back into this game, but no fourth base. I think he is still a bit on desperate territory. He was pretty desperate to get a better engagement than that. And he was, now he's pretty desperate to try and get Storm involved. I say that as if it's a one-trick pony or a Hail Mary. It's not. It's just that I think that it's unlikely to contribute as much as he's hoping. Yeah, there you go. Still have this gateway. Doesn't really make a big difference as far as harassment weapons go, but oh, okay, sure, whatever. Storm is not done. 3 seconds away, however, the Liberator is sieged up. Target firing the High Templar by the looks of it, at least the first one. Fortunately, there's a backup Storm, because I think ShoWTimE needs it. Zealots move in, Zealots move out. I think they saw the reinforcements, the amount of Widow Mines that have burrowed, so they're not going to try and test their luck. More Zealots are being warped in, however, ShoWTimE feels... I mean, it's a bit of a gamble, but he is feeling like he can hold the choke back at home and then invest into warp bans offensively. This is a very dangerous thing to do. Sometimes something we see with disruptors is Terrans just have to run away. But Storm's a little less dependable. I don't know, man. I don't know. Widow Mines have been popped off. Nexus barely alive. Stalkers blink forward, going after those medevacs, stopping the healing, but the Zealot number is starting to get a little thin. HeRoMaRinE is also stimmed quite a few times, so it looks like this army just weakened enough is going to be pulled back, pushed back rather, as the Zealots do go through the third base. They run over the Widow Mine into the Liberator and decide, you know what, just wrap right back around, come out and help back at home, and the third Nexus was under attack. It looks like ShoWTimE still has enough. There they are, they're wrapping back around. Who would expected it? HeRoMaRinE did it. And ShoWTimE saves all 4 Nexus, keeps his worker count at least in a good place, not a fantastic place. Only up by 8, not fantastic at all, but he's starting to replace them. He's gonna find the coins in the couches to actually replace the probes. I'm saying it, but it's not happening. Hello? Hello? Uh-oh. Good last second split. But the Widow Mine in the natural now is a bother. 2 Widow Mines in the natural is a bother. This is all, most importantly, it's not about the damage right now, it's about the distraction. ShoWTimE's not going to be in position to stop this army from perhaps just grabbing the shield battery. Once it grabs the shield battery, could maybe grab the probes. I don't think it can go for the Nexus, though. Now, 9 probes go down. More are going to go down to the Widow Mines in the main base, I would think. And ShoWTimE, well, can't actually produce enough probes. He's not recovering quite fast enough. He gave himself time. He's given himself a lot more chance in this game than as a lot of other Protoss would have, but he's still overall losing. Had he not taken 14 probes with the damage, I think he is on his way back. But the same could be said about the earlier Widow Mine drop. He hadn't lost all of his probes at Widow Mines. Still has a chance, but he needs to start getting some disruptors in this army, or Colossus, basically an alternative form of splash, because you know ghosts are going to be on the way. And your army is quite one-dimensional. No shield battery means these Archons are surprisingly vulnerable to focus fire. Although, oh, geez Louise. Those medevacs are also vulnerable to splash. Good split so far from ShoWTimE. He's starting to also fall behind in the upgrades. Storm doesn't care about upgrades, but everything else in his army does. He does have 2 1 against 1-1, but it is about to change in 30 seconds. HeRoMaRinE also managed to get a 4th base up. HeRoMaRinE able to continue running after the scuffle. ShoWTimE, he had to stop, wrap up a sprained ankle. And now he's starting to kind of limp along, but I think it is a limp. I feel more confident with disruptors, but we don't have them. We don't even have a robo. No, we do have a robo. Oh, I think it just popped out of the Immortal. Nope, popped out of Immortal. Woo-hoo-hoo! And that Warp Prism was used to ferry around the High Templar. ShoWTimE pretty damn good about that. He has very excellent Warp Prism High Templar micro. He's going to take this engagement perhaps a bit bolder than you would expect, but it was an opportunity, and unfortunately has its bite kind of reduced thanks to this medevac drop. 11 probes go down. ShoWTimE, already desperate with this attack, is now straight up all in, but the storms are they're freaking fantastic. I was going to say something much worse. So many units are very low. One shot by the Marauders, but he needs more. The Planetary is going to help a tremendous amount. The ShoWTimE is on, as I said, his last attack. And it was awfully close to working. Those storms made it look like a possibility. It in fact was not possible. GG. HeRoMaRinE finally gets one of those games. Hello. Gonna sit down. Don't worry though, you can still see the cat. In the bottom left of Blackburn, we have HeRoMaRinE. Bottom right, it is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE taking some nasty Woodamine hits, put him into a very poor situation. Still almost brought it back. HeRoMaRinE has played a good set of games himself. The first game we don't talk about, it was so quick. DT rush, it happens. The last two games are very, very close. Still feels like ShoWTimE overall has the edge. I think HeRoMaRinE needs to still find those early damages. And I think maybe if you would ask him, he'd say in general against Protoss, he needs to find the early damage. The Woodamine, the Hellions, whatever. No 3-0s today for ShoWTimE. He might get the victory again. He was able to defeat Bjorn last week for the finals. It's a decent bit of cash, man. $250 for first place. ShoWTimE sees the wall off, which may or may not actually be hiding a factory and maybe a starport. Could be a command center. We've seen it today, and with no second gas, I do believe it's actually a one base. ShoWTimE, he has been confuzzled by this before, but I think his go-to plan on Blackburn in general is to get a Stargate and a Scout, and that usually sets him up pretty well. I think he almost seems to double check himself. Because I'm thinking of a game where he went like triple, or was that Zest? I don't know, it's starting to look similar to me. There is triple Oracle in a situation where I didn't think it was going to really work out that well. Because he had like full scouting too. He just didn't build a single Phoenix. It's very odd. Anyways, we'll see what ShoWTimE does. Stargate, yes, definitely on the way. Hopefully only one Oracle, and then we'll see what else it comes out with. But just, I don't know if I really want to see the triple Oracle. It's a Wonder Axe expand into a 2-1-1, second barracks, and a factory on the way. And ShoWTimE has to be a little careful because he doesn't know it's a Wonder Axe expand. He doesn't know what's coming out of this. He really doesn't have to change up his build all that much. Now it's a question of how much does he doubt himself? How often is he missing some probe cycles because he's sitting there and saying, I don't know. As a pro, he'd hopefully know he's not missing any cycles. Depth really wants some more information. If it could just see the command center float over, that'd be fantastic. But the Oracle's going to see something anyways. The Adept's more important job is to make sure that whatever it does see isn't a gigantic army force coming across the map. Then you got to press the oh shit button, which would be shield batteries and pretty much shield batteries, I guess. Yeah. Second Oracle is being produced, so we could see the triple Oracle on this map. I mean, sometimes it does work. The Terran tries to do whatever they're doing, dropping or pushing at the front, and then, haha, Oracles in big enough numbers still do kill Terrans. Sometimes, though, Oracles are about as lame in a count of 3 as they are in a count of 1. Versus Terran, they're not supposed to really get that much damage done. Sometimes they can. Full on scout there, full on scout. 2-1-1, 2-1-1. So 5-minute drop. Gotta be careful about that. Does he change up what produces out of the Stargate? We'll never know if he changed. But we do know what he is getting right now, which is a Phoenix. And I like that. I like that response a lot. He's also getting a Robo before his Nexus, but he is getting a third Nexus. So kind of a same-ish... Actually, yeah. This is exactly the same build that he ended up playing out against Clem. When Clem went for the factory expand Cyclone Viking push? I think it is. So, just as, I guess, generally safe adaptation to a Stargate opener. Oracles do come in, get that mule out of the way, kill a couple of SCVs. Now it is a question, does he defend at home? I think this was missing from whoever it was, him or Zest. He tries to build the shield battery on time, but it's not done yet. It's also not being target fired, however, so it probably will save the day. Oh, well, there it is. There's target fire. Yeah, did not save the day. ShoWTimE. He's gonna have to tap out of this one. The shield battery being done is also what killed whoever it was last time. GG. Or not done, rather. It's a tight defense, isn't it? Dude, there's like such a... It was like a mimic of a game... Must have been on Tuesday. Must have been on Tuesday. Must have been Zest. I'm getting like... Taking crazy pills. Jesus. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's a game exactly like that. Exactly the same positions. Crazy. And now we have a tied up series. Bottom left is HeRoMaRinE, top right, ShoWTimE. HeRoMaRinE certainly got the early game damage done, didn't he? Made that last game easy. As easy a victory for him as the DTs were for ShoWTimE. It's only fair. But now we head into game 5, and it feels like if HeRoMaRinE gets that damage with the mid-game, or the build portion of the game, I guess. Up until 6 minutes. He wins. If ShoWTimE is able to survive without being catastrophically behind, he wins. Granted, it is based off of only one macro game that was insanely close. Otherwise, ShoWTimE's only other victory was a DT rush, so I don't know, actually. Maybe I am starting to feel more like it's HeRoMaRiNE's series to win. Nothing sus going on here. Let's just follow this probe. Probe is going in a suspicious direction. Could we see a proxy from ShoWTimE? Proxy Stargate would be... Yeah, the only thing you'd really expect over here. Definitely not a common opener in general anymore, but I guess if I had to choose where it is common... Maybe a little more common in PvZ, but even then, not really. Going back to what I was talking about last game, an Oracle just isn't expected to deal a whole lot of damage. But if it is a surprise, and it is quick, then it could probably kill 6 SCVs. And then it still is an Oracle that ShoWTimE otherwise wants, as shown by his other games today. He wants at least one Oracle. So to proxy, it's really not too much more of a commitment for him. And he still goes into a Twilight Council afterwards. That's what I would expect. Depp's gonna just kind of do some scouting, maybe a little bit of distraction as well. Sees the Marines awfully far forward, so ShoWTimE's actually going to go ahead and complete the Shade and see what's following this up, as well as go after the SCVs. The shield battery back at home will take care of the Marines, although the shield battery's awfully late, so I don't know about that anymore. It's Marines without stam or combat shield, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but... Yeah, he's fine. He's actually gonna have 3 Adepts anyways. Okay, yeah, he's fine. They didn't cancel the Shade. He was microing his Oracle, I think. But speaking of the Oracle, it is going to get at least 6 SCVs. So there's nothing back here to defend. Marines do finally come forward. And 4 of them is enough for this Oracle, but not even 6 SCVs. That is a bit disappointing. He really wanted it. He really wanted the 6th one. I think it is more... It's more gooder to actually keep that Oracle alive. Second Oracle is being built. Is he gonna go to triple Oracle? No, Phoenix is gonna come out. So he gets to use his Stargate as if he would in any other game where it's back at home. HeRoMaRinE, yeah, he knows what's up. Gonna go try and find it. Can't stop the Phoenix from producing. So, kinda just gonna let it happen. Leave it be. ShoWTimE gets a 3rd Nexus down as he grabs a couple more gateways as well. I mean, he should add a Twilight Council. I would expect a Twilight Council. But he is also on 4 gate. Is he going to go Phoenix Colossus from a proxy Stargate? I think he is. I mean, he's allowed to use the Stargate, so... Alright. This is the one thing I would not have expected from someone proxying their Stargate, is still going into Phoenix Colossus, because you just think the Stargate's going to be found out and killed, and there you have it. Now, ShoWTimE did already today go for a Phoenix-less transition into Colossus and Blink, or Charge, actually, Charge. And I think he's going to try and do that again. It's, reiterating what I said last time, it's a bit dangerous. It's kind of skipping a step. It's skipping the defend against air step that PvT usually has a lot of. But if you can scout real good, and he still has 1 Oracle alive, and have your units in the positions that they should be, And if the Terran doesn't really have a way to drop anyways, only one medevac out, then it will give you the appropriate tools to deflect a head-on push. It's a little bit later on, though. We're not talking about Colossus yet, just the robo finishing. Charges on the way. Immortal being pumped out. 2 shield batteries, 3 actually. As ShoWTimE realizes, hey, this is a push. It's a real gosh darn push. It's kind of interesting about defending against a push like this is that sometimes the depths are the way. With charge already being on its way, I guess ShoWTimE's going to try and hold on. That's why the shield batteries were popped in closer positions to the actual army engagement. He's going to try and defend with everything he has right here. This might work, but oh, the Immortal coming in a little bit late was a bit worrisome. He does defend. I would not have made that call. Holy shit. That's kind of, that was really good of him. The tank got one especially good shot off on the Stalkers as they clumped up and blocked out that Immortal, but HeRoMaRinE had already been forced to lift up his Marines and abandon ship really on the push, so ShoWTimE holds. Now he's gonna have charge. Now he adds on the robotics bay. That was a bit dicey. Blinkless Stalkers head to the main to stop any drops they possibly could. HeRoMaRinE, is he going to be picking up on this playstyle? Hasn't got much scouting.
Is under attack.
With him denying the Phoenix, he might have expected. Well, he saw the Phoenix were being made, so maybe that would think, okay, he's actually going to try and go to Phoenix Colossus. But then he killed the Stargate, and that kind of, again, negates the whole Phoenix part of Phoenix Colossus. So do you think he'd go into a faster charge because of it? Well, what he saw was chargeless Zealots, no Colossus. So at the very least, whatever ShoWTimE is building up to is not yet out. HeRoMaRinE gets his third up. Ooh, a little bit of a supply block. Whoops-a-daisy. But is seemingly content waiting for all of his upgrades to finish, waiting for his army to get a bit better, and that should mean that ShoWTimE gets his 4th base up, and shield batteries up, and Colossus up. Starts 1-1, starts his blink, so let's total everything together. I don't think ShoWTimE has taken enough damage. I do believe he wins the macro game, but he has taken some, and so HeRoMaRinE also still win this macro game. It's got a single drop over to the left, just enough to be threatening. Main army over to the right. ShoWTimE has nothing defending his 3rd base. Stalkers move out of the main position as well. Scan, well, that's not the right 4th nexus anyways. The Observer is going to be able to track the army, that's good. Here's the Marines, oh, very good pull, very quick pull away, and their army was not too far. Triple drop, triple drop, triple drop, triple drop. That might have been why he scanned this 4th, actually. But a Zealot's gonna see him? I think it barely saw him. This Phoenix is barely gonna see... Yeah, I already saw it with the Zealot. Stalkers are in position. They don't have that blink, and they don't one-shot that medevac, but they do stop at least a couple of units from unloading. And perhaps with the Zealot warpins, it will be enough. It looks like, in fact, it will be. The Nexus under fire, however, from this tank. It's a very abusive spot. One of the reasons this can be a dangerous Nexus to take. Ooh! A little bit more trouble with this drop than anticipated. Here's the problem with what ShoWTimE has built up. Especially because he just used all of his Stalkers in the main base. Ooh, is that he doesn't have anything to stop the Vikings from tearing down the Colossus, but beating back the entire army. I guess will do the trick. And he is recognizing more Stalkers are necessary. He's warped them in. They have that blink. They have 1-1 as well. And ShoWTimE, you know, save the 4th Nexus, gets his probes back to mining there. Fourth base is seen, and that tells ShoWTimE that the army's probably gone over to defend. It's saw it kill the Zealot. It's gonna break down these rocks, open up that pathway to start dislodging HeRoMaRinE. Oh, Observer gets caught. It's a little sand. Oh well. But if he can get HeRoMaRinE to engage on the left, and then perhaps DT's on the right, which he is setting up to do back at home, DT's, disruptors, all the good Protoss stuff, and that's where ShoWTimE starts to really shine. He's also got a Warp Prism headed towards an undefended main base. No missile turrets, no Widow Mines. ShoWTimE gets his army scanned. It's not too surprising to see what the composition ends up being. I think HeRoMaRinE is just looking for the actual army placement. There is the Zealot drop-off. And it is just a drop-off. ShoWTimE wasn't expecting much more from this particular Warp Prism harassment. Still, it's 11 SCVs. Warp Prism will come back later, probably with DTs. Now these useless adepts just use as spotters. Sorry, ladies. You do get useless after minute 8. Warp Prism went back in, but a Viking had been trying to chase it down, so unfortunate timing. HeRoMaRinE does seem pretty well situated on his 4 bases. He's maxed out, he's got ghosts. He does not have upgrades, though. And he's about to be outdone by 2-2 from ShoWTimE. That is worrying. Viking count's very good, but like I pointed out in previous games from ShoWTimE, it seems like he gets the Colossus to stabilize him until the late game. And then if they die, they die. He's not really going to cry over it. Medevacs were not seen by the looks of things. Getting into a main base, ShoWTimE is basically maxed out. Oh, okay, he was pulling some units back. Shield batteries finish, cannons finish, army engagement, much more important, is happening. Looks like some units were shot down. Not too much, but HeRoMaRinE, more so than losing or winning the engagement, simply put, is just pushed back. He's not going to take that map control, and ShoWTimE should even maybe feel confident about continuing a chase. Yeah, kind of a funny battle over this ridge. DT Blink being finished, 3-3 immediately started up, means that ShoWTimE will continue to have a slight upgrade lead. But they've evened out. It's okay. Double drop heads to the natural, and that's also where Stag Defense is just shy of actually being done. More scuffles in the middle, too, and really a lot of these tiny little attacks are about distractions. So the bunker gets mass repaired, looks like it'll be okay. ShoWTimE has plenty of DTs looking to hit that 4th base, of which there are no Liberators. A little bit of SimCity, though, so the DT Blink shouldn't be all-encompassing. Encompassing? Up. Probably still enough to kill the planetary, though. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Not too much. Nexus, at least, is a trade, but it's a little more impactful for the command center. Because it's the command center, the planetary that was added onto it, the SCVs that were there, and the necessity for the Terran to rebuild that line of defense. Whereas the Nexus is not a similar line of defense. You get what I'm putting down. So it's not like it's the worst news ever, but HeRoMaRinE does need to kind of quickly stitch things back up. And, being filtered through his own SimCity is not the way to do it. He's going a bit desperately after this engagement because he has another one going his way on the right side. And that was a good call from him. I mean, he could have filtered much worse through his own SimCity, but ShoWTimE wasn't taking advantage of it. He was probably paying attention to this particular attack with all these bio units, and suddenly HeRoMaRinE taking a pretty damn good fight. Is it going to be good enough? However, DTs come in just on their lonesome. Not even the fact that they're hidden. They are adding DPS here enough to certainly even things out. And HeRoMaRinE still down only on 40 workers after losing another 15 more, as DTs to worry about. Has 5 base Protoss to worry about, and the 3-3 the Protoss also finishing up. All things point to ShoWTimE's victory. His DTs do get EMP'd, and they're pretty useless after that, so that was the most effective trade. Not at all. But ShoWTimE has 75 workers, 5 bases, a bit of a bank. He is going to be much better off unless HeRoMaRinE can stabilize. And he's trying. He is trying to stabilize. This is a single Liberator. Engagement's going to happen to the 3 disruptors. Oh, we're going to kill some of his own stalkers, but it's alright. He wins the game. GG is going to be called. There you have it, ShoWTimE. does take the 3-2 victory. Harder battle than he was hoping, and maybe a harder battle than it was versus Clem, actually, but nonetheless, he gets 250 bucks in his pocket. I have no idea when they're paid out. I've never looked into the logistics of this. Interesting. But yeah, he does get money. He gets confidence. And he gets accolades, maybe.